Why are you Danny from the Link Up?
I am Danny from TheLinkUp. Well, better yet, it's we from TheLinkUp. Because
Okay.
it's me and my business partner, Carlos. So it's two of us. Actually, you know what? It's four of us.
Okay.
It's me,
We're
Carlos,
peeling back layers here.
my brother Fabian, and my friend Marco.
Okay.
All of us four are just a team. We all go in it on the link up on all of our events. I think what sets us apart from a lot of events is that we just care about the event. First of all, we care about our vendors, we care about our customers, we care about the strategies that we build, we care about how we maneuver the event, we move it, we care about our growth, and we try to do everything correctly to make the event successful. And I think that is what the Link Up stands for. We help businesses grow, develop, and scale. And we just want to create something for the community, for Tracy, 209, and everybody who's just into fashion. If you're a fashion enthusiast, whether you're starting out or you're, very high into, if you're just knowledgeable in the aspect of fashion and streetwear, like, you're welcome. Like, this is your place, full of 100 vendors, sneakers, vintage, streetwear. We even
100
got
vendors. Damn.
yeah,
That's fire,
we
man.
even got food. We got entertainment.
Mm.
You could socialize. You could buy, sell, trade, and that is what this event is about. Just family, entertainment, and fashion.
That's fire, man. So, first of all, I know I told you off camera that I wasn't going to go too deep into this, but like, I'm
Please
not being
ask
like,
whatever. Yes.
I'm saying like, I'm, we went to school together twice.
Yeah.
Actually, three times if you think about it. Elementary school, middle school, high school. And I haven't seen this guy in a decade, right? In a whole
Yeah.
decade. And to see where you are now, just as a homie moment,
Yeah.
like that like I'm proud of you, dude. That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
So
Yeah.
what I want to know, first of all, shout out to Carlos, Fabian, and Marco,
Yeah.
right? I got those names right, and
Correct.
yourself.
Mhm.
So tell us your story. Like, how did you guys get started?
Yeah, so my friend Carlos, he used to do kind of a gathering, but the gathering was for business or for people who want to excel in life. So it was more of a mindset group. And in that mindset group, it was just a circle full of like people who were entrepreneurs or wanted to get into entrepreneurship. And in that group, there was people who printed T-shirts, who were artists, who made jewelry, who were events, kind of like me, who flipped clothing and stuff like that. So I joined that group, and I already knew I wanted to do events, but I had no money. And this is where it kind of goes back to well, I know we talked off camera, but we went back to the rave. So I was during my time at Safeway, I was able to allocate some money, like, just get some money, and I funded an event in Turlock at the Stanislaus County Fairground, and it was a rave. I booked some artists, and the thing about that event is that it didn't work out.
Okay.
It didn't work out.
We're talking about a rave at Stanislaus Fairgrounds,
yes.
Right?
And this was before COVID.
Before COVID. So what year? 2020?
I
No,
think it was
not
like
2019 then.
it was 2021, and the rave was going to be in April because I remember it was during like Easter weekend. It was going to be during when everybody's on spring break.
Got you. Well, COVID hit 2020.
Did it? Then it should be 2020 then.
For sure.
During spring break.
Got you.
Yeah. So I was planning a rave, and I was planning it. This is my biggest mistake, was doing it by myself. First of all,
Okay.
that was my biggest mistake. I thinking that I could do it by myself, thinking that the marketing by myself, emailing, getting the word out, just going all in on myself, because my mentality was back then, oh, if I do it by myself, I could take in more profit. And it didn't work out like that. So I did get a lot of help by Skinny Black. Shout out Malik. And my cousin Black. Melissa, she used to be the president of Stanislaus, so she kind of helped get the word out when there was things kind of happening, like festivals, dances, elections, like when you pick your class president and stuff like that. And so she was kind of doing she was kind of making things aware to like the students or the classmates, you would say. And then so she helped me put flyers up around the whole school. And I'm just gonna skip a little bit because I'm not really gonna get into too much debt with like agreements and contracts.
Mm.
But it was 2 weeks before I had my event, and I was not getting any ticket sales, so I was paranoid,
Wow.
and I was already deep in the budget. I was 6K in on the artist. I was 4K in, 5 to 4K in on the venue, and another
Mm.
4K on sound systems. And I was maybe like 15, $16,000 already deep in.
15 to 16,000
Yeah,
dollars of your own money.
yeah, my own money. Yeah,
Wow.
my own money.
Into the show.
Yes, and no marketing yet.
Right.
So that was just the show by itself.
And you hadn't turned any ticket sales yet.
I had, but it was very low.
Okay.
My goal was to try to hit 1,000, and I think I was like around like 100 to like 120, like somewhere there.
Okay.
And the tickets were on sale for $20. So 100 times 20, that's like 2K. So I was already down like 14K, you know.
Right.
So the thing that helped me realize that this event was going to flop is the fact that it wasn't going the way I wanted. And I was luckily, and I say this luckily because 2 weeks before my event, Biden shut down the country because of COVID. So every agreement and contract that I had a force majeure clause. And what that is that if there's an act of God or anything along those lines, such as like a tsunami, an earthquake, a disease, or something burns, you know, it's an act of God. Like it happens because it happens naturally. It's not because of a cause, you know.
So you guys essentially got like not bailed out, but you
Mhm.
got, I say you guys, you
Yeah,
got your money back
I did.
because of
So I
this.
got all the 16K
That's
back.
crazy.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
It felt I had such a relief because I knew that I was gonna fail, and that was my biggest failure up to date.
Mm.
It doesn't matter whether I lost the money or not. I just knew I failed,
Mm.
and like it helped me realize what I needed to work on, and marketing was definitely huge.
Do you feel like that was, I was about to ask you, if you could go back and redo it, what would you do differently?
I would not do it by myself.
Okay.
I would not never do it by myself. And I also learned a lot of strategic financing, such as credit card stacking,
Mm.
split cost ticket sales with artists.
Yeah.
Sometimes when the artist is too high or you can't afford them, sometimes you take some money from the bar or from ticket sales to help allocate the cost from the artist. I would work with the artist to help market the event. So if I have an artist and that artist is performing, I would like to do a TikTok, an Instagram, or a Facebook reel, and then just work with the artist to help um, get the word out that they're performing. Because I understand that it's my goal to market, but it's also the goal of the artist because people are coming to see the artist. Just because they're getting paid, you know, it, it's not always okay to chill. Like you have to, you know, people are coming to see you. You know,
Right.
you want people to see you, so you gotta be like, "Yo, I'm performing here. Like, come here, blah blah. Like, I'm giving 2 free tickets to my fans or something like just along the lines of that. You know, like really help get the word out. Facebook marketing is a lot better than Instagram marketing because the pay per clips are a lot cheaper by 10 times in Instagram marketing. So I would go
Really?
heavier on Facebook than I would on Instagram. But it also depends on the type of age gap that you're advertising to. Obviously, if you're advertising to 25 and older, Facebook is going to be a little more um, beneficial to you
Mm.
because people my age, like I'm on Facebook a lot more than I am on Instagram because a lot of the things that I move are through Facebook.
Really?
Mhm,
Man, dude, I don't know if I'm just the outlier
mhm.
here, but
Yeah,
I feel like I just turned 30 and yeah,
yeah,
we're the same age,
yeah, yeah.
right?
I'm 32.
So I feel like a lot of the people I talk to don't use Facebook,
Mhm.
but you're telling me that Facebook is more popular amongst people 25 and older.
Yes, so when it comes to the music industry, I'm actually in the Mexican uh corridos and banda side of the music industry.
That's cool.
So a lot of people, I don't know why, but a lot of Latinos just tend to use Facebook.
Okay.
So
All right. That's a
so
cool
it,
stat.
yeah, so it works for me.
Yeah.
Instagram does work, but the algorithm is just not, it just doesn't hit the same as the Facebook. I don't know why.
Mm.
I don't know, it's just very different, and it's less, it's cost effective
And that's what you care about at
Yeah,
the end of the day,
because
right?
more people see it, and there's more engagement in the comments. You see people tagging each other on the Facebook comments,
Mm.
and you see just more interaction. And then like I'll do the same thing on Instagram, and I'll get like 2, 3, 4 comments, and it's just kind of like
Why would I
it
do
doesn't hit the
this?
same. No, I still do it
Yeah.
because there's a different reach. Because Instagram is it's
Okay.
more like youth and like middle like 20s. I know people older
Mm.
use it, but like the ones who like carry the cash, they're like more like oh, Instagram's kind of like not there for me. I'm gonna be more on the Facebook side. Not saying that that's everybody, but the majority of my consumers or customers, they're like on Facebook.
Okay.
For the link up, everything's on Instagram because that's how people move through the Instagram. I don't even do
Like
Facebook
you're talking
marketing.
about the vendors, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man. So that all these things that you're lurking. Wow, all of these things that you are learning. Are you learning them on the fly? Are you self taught, or like how did you learn this stuff?
Some stuff I am self-taught. Some stuff my business partner Carlos helped me out with.
Okay.
So he's knowledgeable in the marketing. So I'm gonna talk about him a little bit, and then I'm gonna talk about how I'm able to see what kind of advertisement works best for whatever business that I'm doing.
Okay.
So Carlos was able to help me out a lot on getting the brand awareness out, such as like the link up and other events that I'm doing.
Mm.
He's very good at marketing because he already had a business established before we started the link up. He used to
Mm.
flip streetwear, vintage, and sneakers from his garage, and he was pretty successful. He's like one of the top dogs, I think.
In doing that, right?
Yeah, like especially here in NorCal, like he's very well known and pretty respectable in his
In his field.
in his field.
Okay.
So I was able to work with someone who's very outgoing, and he's a hard worker too. And so he taught me a lot about video marketing, getting the word out. How he's the reason why I'm comfortable being on camera or on film. He's like, bro, you got to do it. Like he pushed me.
Mm.
Like he's not. He's like a no BS type of guy. He's like, bro,
Right.
you got to do it.
He's
Or
a
like,
hustler.
yeah, yeah. So with that, and then I was able to publicize my first video with me with my face in it. I was so nervous.
Mm.
I was so nervous that I remember I took 2 shots of Hennessy before I did it
Before you
because
record
I was shaking, bro. Like you don't realize how nervous I was to actually get on film
I
because I was
believe it.
like, what if people like think of
Judge
me or
it,
like judge me? Like I was so scared. Like
man. No, I believe
Mhm,
it, man. Like,
mhm.
obviously, not the same, but I mean, you work with artists in one
Yeah,
of your businesses, right? Artists when they first start, they're kind of like afraid to put out music,
yeah.
right? And in my experience, I feel like it's because they think, man, like I'm gonna post this reel and it's gonna get 2 views, it's gonna
Hmm.
get 2 likes in 24 hours. No one's gonna like it, no one's gonna
Hmm.
watch it. And my thing is you're right, but you keep doing it, and guess
Hmm.
what? People know you for that thing.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
stupid until it works. Like
Yep,
put it
it
this way,
is.
right?
It is. That's true.
Put it this way, right? If I
Hmm.
were to we know each other from high school.
For
If
sure.
I was a hater and I were to see you on my timeline, like, oh look, is Danny? What is he doing now? That's stupid, right? But then
Yeah.
you post it 5 more times. I might hate. It goes from it's stupid to whatever, and then it goes from
Yeah.
whatever to oh man, Danny, I always knew you were gonna make it.
Yeah.
Like that's
Mhm.
that's literally how it works.
Yeah.
So I feel you.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
was after that first one, did you start getting used to it? How did you get used to it?
So I got used to it just by doing it consistently. So it took me about 2 hours just filming myself nonstop, like judging myself through the
Really?
same video.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I had to do that video was because I had to cancel an event because it was going to
Oh,
rain. So I had to make a video telling people,
I
hey, like
see.
it's going to rain, so we're gonna postpone this event to next month, and just kind of give a brief description of what's gonna happen, give refunds, give updates and stuff like that.
Mm.
But I was just so genuinely scared that I was gonna get a bunch of backslash for canceling. I thought I was gonna get backslash for not just moving it the next day. But it wasn't that wasn't the case. Like people like as long as you're honest with people, bro, people will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout that video I was just honest, I was very blunt. Um It was you could tell I was nervous. It was my first video. I uploaded it anyways. It took me 2 hours to do the videos because I've never done a video before, so it took me 2 hours
What's
to
to
upload
do
that video. Like I literally sat through my phone like this and just recorded 2 hours, like saying the same skit.
over and over again, huh?
Mhm. The second time it took me a lot less. It took me about 30 minutes
Okay.
to do a video, and now I just do it quick. Sometimes I just do it in one take. Like I'll just get on. I'll just be like, "Hey, yo, it's me, Danny from TheLinkUp. April 1st, we're having an event here in Stockton Arena from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Over 100 vendors selling sneakers, vintage streetwear. Make sure to pull up, bring your stuff, come buy, sell, trade. See you there."
Yeah, I saw that one. That
Hmm.
one was in the arena, right?
Yes.
See, and
Hmm.
that right there. First of all, I knew you had something special your first event
Yeah.
because I mean maybe I'm biased because I started my own business as
Hmm.
well. Where it's like the fact that you're doing something and putting it out there, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if 5 people show up.
Sure. Yeah.
You started something and
Hmm.
you saw it through. The same thing with your show, right? You
Yeah.
started something. You sold 100 tickets. That was your first event, right?
Yeah. My first
So
event. Yeah.
people have their first event and 5 people might show up because they happen to be there.
Yeah.
You had your first event and you got 100 to 150 people to buy tickets.
Yeah.
Yes, you were in the hole, but you
Yeah.
did something. You know
Yeah.
what
I
I'm
did. Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
that's some good shit. So
Hmm.
congratulations on your success.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I asked you were mentioning your team earlier, right?
Hmm.
I understand now how you picked your team, but I guess you and your team, what is your guys' measurement for success?
Okay, so our measurement for success is that we all delegate certain tasks to each other, and you always want to handle what you're best at. Carlos
Mm,
is best at marketing and getting the word out there and making sure that the marketing and the outlook of the page is up to par.
mhm,
I'm more at the back end, that when that just the agreements, the contracts, getting vendors locked in and stuff like that. So it kind of works like perfect because it offsets the time that one has to concentrate on the other, and that's how
mhm.
we kind of move in that direction. And yeah, so that's kind of how we do it
So it's a
with the
balance. It's
events.
a partnership.
Yeah, it's a partnership for sure.
That's awesome. So and then
Hmm.
the other gentleman that you named, your brother
Hmm.
Marco, and then I'm missing one other person.
So it's Marco and Fabian. It's
Marco.
just
Okay,
Fabian's my brother, and then Marco is his best friend, but they also work for the Link Up.
I see what you're saying.
So they're more like employees, but I don't really say employees because they help a lot. They do more than what
Mm,
average employee. They care, so they'll come in. They'll help out with the vendors, like when the vendors offload and then load in and then load out. They'll help them set up. They'll help them find their spot. They'll help with the tickets. They'll help like with the financials. Like when we have a ticketed event, they'll help with the cash, with the flow, with the spreadsheets, getting the word out. So it's more of a team. I think if they were to just like show up and just kind of do it and then like clock out, like they're just kind of like their employees, but they still stand like the ground with the link ups, and they'll travel with me. They'll go to Vegas to do the LV exchange with me because I also have an event in Vegas.
yeah.
And then Fabian and Marco, they'll like voluntarily go. They're like, "But we're gonna go. We're gonna help you out." So as soon as like there just comes a point where like they're not your employees. They're more like a team. And
Mm.
so I just consider them my team regardless of whether they get paid a lot or not. Like, they help me out a lot.
Well,
Hmm.
that's awesome, man. So
Hmm.
so what I want to know is you mentioned a couple different businesses now
Hmm.
for the audience listening. Could you list the business and then what it does, like a brief
Okay.
description of what it does?
So I have four four businesses in the entertain that are dedicated for the entertainment industry. The first one is the Link Up, and it's owned by me and Carlos. The second one is LV Exchange, and it's owned by me and Ryan, um, which is it's in Vegas. And then the third one is the King of Cards, which is owned by me and David Flores. The King of Cards is a
Hold on, real quick. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out David Flores. I was just so into. I want to make sure to check them out.
Okay, so the Link Up is a vintage and streetwear expo.
Mm,
The LV Exchange is a streetwear and vintage expo.
mm,
The King of Cards is a card expo where people buy, sell, and trade like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and memorabilia. And the fourth event is D&D Entertainment. It's Danny and David Entertainment, and that branch is the artist branch, the music branch, where we book artists, clubs, expos, arenas, and we pretty much just book artists, and we you know we're in the entertainment industry. That's what I'm in. I'm in the
That's sick.
entertainment industry.
So how did you like? Did you discover how success worked on the link up, and then you took that business model into those, or like how did those other
Yeah,
businesses come about?
so everything that I learned from the link up, I took it to the LV exchange in the Las Vegas, and then I also took it to the trading card expo. They
Mm,
all they all really move similar. The only difference is that you're catering to a different crowd. So with the link up, you cater to Northern California because that's where majority of your vendors are going to be and your customers.
right.
With the LV exchange, the Las Vegas exchange, you're hitting Southern Nevada, which is like Las Vegas, and sometimes you'll get some vendors that come from Los Angeles because it's not that far of a drive.
Right.
And then for the King of Cards, we're primarily catering people in Northern California that are into Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and like sports cards.
Yeah.
So they're
Trading
two
cards.
different crowds. You just got to find out what that crowd is into, and you put your marketing budget into that
Mm,
insight.
that's
Hmm.
awesome. That's awesome, man. What motivates you? That's what I want to know. You have all these
Yeah,
businesses. It probably takes up a bunch of time.
yeah.
What keeps you focused? What keeps you motivated?
Um, I just like doing stuff. I think it's
I know what you mean, but that's just a
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I just like doing stuff. I think what keeps me motivated is the benefits that come from being able to do what you know best or what you love. I think a lot of people don't know this, but with the entertainment industry, I get invited to a lot of things backstage, Rolling Loud, Sneaker Con. I get invited to Complex Con, music events like backstage, um, s- uh, grand openings to like sneaker shops or vintage shops. I get discounts on like a lot of stores.
Mm.
You get to meet all these artists. And I know a lot of people hear me, oh my God, you met this artist? Yeah, I do. I have met probably your favorite artist, but I go for the purpose of business. So to me, like
That you're not going on there. That you're not going there on some fan
mhm,
shit,
yeah.
right?
So if
Yeah.
I see like an artist, probably won't talk to the artist. I'm gonna talk to the management,
Right.
try to get cool with the management, try to see how if we can work on something. I've done sponsorships with Minute Maid, with Monster, with Coke,
That's awesome.
mhm, and a lot of like high profile celebrities go to my events. I did a Santa Clara event a year ago, and we had Ayuk and Debo pull up and cash
Okay.
out. So it was really cool. There's other famous people that go. I'm just not too familiar with too many famous people, but I
Right.
hear from vendors, "Oh, did you see this person?" I'm just like, "No, I didn't. I'm
Like you're
sorry."
working. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's really cool that there's a lot of people that just show up unexpectedly and support. So I think what motivates me is
You said you
it's
love
just
doing
fun.
stuff.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
So then I feel like this question that I'm about to ask you might be the same answer.
Okay.
What do you love most about what you do?
I love most about what I do is just seeing people. j- It's because I love fashion and I love being in the music industry. So just doing it itself just makes me happy because that's what I love to do.
Mm,
Like when I'm out by myself, just shopping, I always have my AirPods, just listening to music.
mm.
I'll dine by myself, just listening to music. I'll go shopping.
What's your favorite kind of music?
Right now, I'm heavily into Mexican music because that's what I'm investing in.
Mm,
But I'll still listen to EDM. I'll still listen to rap and hip hop. Like I'll
mm.
listen to like anything. I have like a sacred playlist that I just save songs that I don't play in front of the homies. It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
the music you kind of listen to by yourself that you don't play like in front of nobody. It's just kind of like, so I have a lot of like Dua Lipa, like Lady Gaga, like Taylor Swift, like
Bro,
all those stuff like on there. Like that type of playlist.
hold on. Bad Romance by Lady Gaga comes on in my
Mhm.
car, and I'm hitting the oh whoa whoa
That's such a good song. I love Lady
dude,
Gaga.
like
Yeah.
all I'm saying is I feel you on the like I'm not letting
Yeah.
anyone hear this playlist because it's gonna come on like what the fuck is
It's like a good playlist, but it's not something you play in front of like your homies.
no, it's
Yeah.
not. But it's some shit that it's like, dude, I want to feel something right
Yeah.
now, and
Mhm.
people are lying if they don't hear like a Lady Gaga, at least one Lady
Mhm.
Gaga song, and say that's fire.
And go, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Telephone's my favorite Lady Gaga
Yeah.
song. So.
So what I want to know is you said Mexican music, right?
Mhm.
Are you listening to? I know you say you deal with a lot of higher profile artists,
Mhm.
but what I'm curious about is, do you also like try to discover maybe local talent on the come up? Like, how do
Yeah.
you go about doing
So
that?
I'm huge on local talent.
Mm,
I book one artist that already has a good reputation
mm,
that's gonna close out the event. And then the rest of the artists below are either local or upcoming artists that are gonna make it big.
got
I'm
it.
not too interested in booking a mega event where all the artists have a name. I think it's very important to have local artists because the local artists are gonna help you push that event.
They're gonna be more into it.
Yes. And
Yeah.
all I don't care who you are or what you are, all the artists that I book get paid.
Mm.
I don't care, like I don't believe in like playing for free. Like I gotta pay you something. Like if you want to play for free and like you're begging, like I gotta buy you like a shot or something. I gotta take you out I
Give
gotta
you
buy you some
something.
food. I can't you have to have a taste of your craft, and your craft needs to benefit, and you need to make money.
Right.
Your craft is
It's important.
like if you're an artist and you're really good at the guitar, or you're really good at the or at singing or at rapping, like you can't sell your craft for free. That's just what I think personally. I understand
Mm,
if you're starting off and you want to do it, like by all means go ahead. But
mm.
to me, like I just feel like people work hard, so I'll pay everybody. Even if it's like a little bit, if you're asking for a little bit, or like you think what you're worth, I'll pay you. But I just think people need to like evaluate themselves and put a price on
They got to know their
themselves.
worth. They
Yeah,
got to know
they
their worth
do.
100%.
Hmm.
So, what is your advice to artists listening right
I
now?
think an advice would be, yeah, it's cool to play for free, but start charging.
Start
Start
charging.
charging, yes. But
Let's
if
say,
you're
all right, hold on, real quick. I'll give you a specific scenario.
okay,
Let's say you're an artist with 200 followers on Instagram, 5 listeners on Spotify.
mhm,
What would you suggest to that person?
you need to find a way to outreach to those 200 followers to help move the event. So like maybe like once the flyer is out, like send that flyer to your 200 followers, and like they'll support you. Like that's something as little as that could help push the event, and then help you gain traction from the followers
Help
that
you
you already
grow.
have.
Got you.
So yeah, so
Okay.
sometimes it's more beneficial to have local talent perform at a local event than to have someone from New York that's popping and then come over here. Like it doesn't work like that, because I've had events where all the artists were local, and I sold 600 tickets,
Mm.
and
That's
that
crazy. Yeah.
event was just crazy, and it was just a bunch of corridos and Mexican music. So, it doesn't you don't need to have an
Yeah.
expensive artist.
I will say though, like from my experience, I think corridos, like
Mhm.
if you like that music, you love that music, and
Yeah.
you want to see like your that those artists. I'm a hip hop artist, right? And you might like some of my bars.
Hmm.
You might even like my and listen to my
Yeah.
music, but it's harder to convert them to like, oh, I'm gonna go see this person at a show,
Yeah.
right? It's not the same with like R&B. R&B, you like you if you love Usher, for example, right? You listen to his music, most likely you're gonna go to his show.
Sure.
So my final question for you is, where do you see the link up in 5 years?
So the link up in 5 years, I think I see it a little. Not the link. I don't really see the link up super big in 5 years. I see how we could take stuff from the link up and put it into other different branches, like events, and just have a bunch of events like all together. Like the link up is just one branch of like the events that we already do.
Mm,
Obviously we could scale it and make it bigger and make it more entertainment, like put more money, but as in like make it like super mega, like ultra big. um I don't think I see it yet, because I have smaller plans that I want to put into the link up to help it grow. But I think the biggest plan that I have overall for the businesses is to branch off and then have like different businesses within that business. So the link up would be like link up LA, like link up
I see what you're
San
saying.
Diego. So like stuff like that.
Mm.
So just kind of like expand.
Man, I see. I feel like I have so much to ask you, right?
Yeah.
Because this show was made, like I told you off camera, this show was made primarily for upcoming artists who I
Okay.
think are very talented,
Yeah.
but we're kind of like, I don't want to say prisoner to the algorithm because the algorithm does help if
Yeah.
you know how to do it. But a
Sure.
lot of us, we're not marketers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm an artist, and my brain always goes to how can I express my artistry on this? I spend hours,
Yeah.
days, weeks on a music
Hmm.
video, planning it, pre-production, post-production, production. I'm involved in every aspect. And then when it comes to marketing, I'm like, watch a YouTube video and like you still might not
Yeah.
get it. There's an art to marketing.
Yeah.
So I have so many questions, but I want to
Sure.
keep it on your businesses because that fascinates me. You were
Yeah.
talking about D&D,
Yeah.
right? Talk to me a little bit more about
Yeah,
that.
so the D&D Entertainment stands for Danny and David Entertainment, which and
Right.
it's ran by me and my business partner David Flores. And how we got started is that we already had an idea that we wanted to book artists and you know bring him here to Tracy, San Jose, Sacramento, wherever it is. But we already knew that we were missing something. For us, we knew how to like put expos together, but when you're no longer doing expos and you're doing like music events, it's different
Mm,
by marketing, by structure, by getting the word out, by being consistent. Like it's so different. Like there's so much going on. So how did we go about this? David met a woman and her name is Claudia,
okay.
and she goes by La Patrona, which means like the boss.
Right.
And she's been into the no, you know what? Scratch that. So me and David, we did a card event at the Stockton Fairgrounds,
Mm,
and there was a lady there. She does the agenda for the events, and she puts them on the calendar. And
mm,
she had mentioned about us doing a rave, and we had talked to her. Her name is Laura. We talked to Laura that about us wanting to do like music events, corridos and EDM. And she's like, "Oh, like I have this woman that's going to do this huge event here at the Stockton Fairgrounds, and it's going to be a tequila and agave fest. Maybe you'd want to work with her." And then David was like I'm down. And then I told Laura, I was like, just put her on the phone right now. And then I called her, and then she's a really nice lady, by the way. She's very knowledgeable. So I got on the phone with Claudia, and then I was like, "Hey, Claudia, like Laura had told me that you're doing a huge agave and tequila fest here at Stockton. Like me and my business partner were looking to invest because before we were just looking to invest, we weren't looking to do.
right.
So we are just like we're looking to invest. Um, we want to be in the music entertainment industry, um, and we want to see how it goes. And are you able to meet up? And then like fast forward like 2 weeks later, we meet up with her at a taco shop,
Mm,
right? And then we go over our goals about us wanting to invest and stuff like that. And she told us her goals about the agave and agave and beer festival.
right.
And it at first it didn't align, so she was not interested in
But
us
what?
becoming investors.
Okay.
She was more interested in what we could provide.
Okay.
So like there is a difference between investing, because when you invest you're not really doing much, you're just kind of investing, but she
Here's my
wants,
money.
yeah, so she wants investors and doers. So if
Mm,
you're going to invest, you got to do, and me and David was like, you know what, like we're up for it, like we'll
let's do it.
invest X amount and we'll do. And so the cool thing about that is that for the first for the first two events, which is our first one that we're having in about 2 weeks, and our second one, which we're having in about 3 weeks, we partnered up with her and we invested in her team, because her team, she manages a couple artists, and we booked a couple of her artists, and those artists are going to perform at La Huacana.
Mm,
So we invested in her, and we're including her artist. So it's not just us investing, like we're also working with her. So we brought some benefit to the table for her to make money, but
right.
for also us to make money and benefit from f- to benefit from the artist, the marketing and getting our name out there as D&D.
Mm,
Because we've always had the cash to invest, but we needed a guidance, and she's helping us with the agreements, with the contracts, with artists, getting to know promoters, getting to know events, getting our name out there. Claudia is just great. She is amazing. She is a very talented and woman, very empowering, and she also has like her own business. She has like some trucks. She owns trucks and
Okay.
like so she owns like trucks like taco trucks and stuff like that.
Like
And
you said, she's the boss.
yeah, and she does like events on her own too. So me and David were like, this is the person we need to work with,
Right.
and it's been great. So that's kind of how we got started with the D&D entertainment industry. And if you want, bro, I could go more in depth on how we do the
Dude,
marketing.
I'm here listening.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I
Yeah.
kind of forget that we're in the middle of an interview right now.
Yeah.
I'm just listening to you talk.
And so the marketing is a little different for that type of entertainment. So that type of entertainment is full on word of mouth.
Right.
Like in the music industry, if you burn bridges, you're out. Like it's crazy because everything gets out.
Oh,
Like
I know.
if one person knows, like everybody will know. So you got to be careful who you work with, what you say, what you do, how you do your things, how you pay people, how people pay you, how you benefit, how you take advantage of. Like everything is, when you think no one's looking, someone's looking. When you think no one knows, someone knows.
That's why I say we literally end this show with,
Yeah.
when you think nobody's listening, somebody
Yeah,
is.
somebody is.
And just so you know, for the people listening, the reason I end it like that is because I have listened to me trying to be a hip hop artist. I listen to a lot of industry podcasts. I listen to a lot of stuff, and everything you just mentioned is 100% correct.
Yeah.
Right? Where a lot of this is politics, it's business, and if you mess with the wrong person, even if they're messing with you, like they're like poking you to see how you respond, and you fire back, this ain't the streets anymore.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't high school or college anymore. Like you fire back, and guess what? As a human being, it's understandable why you fired back. But as a business, they don't want to mess with you. And now they're going to tell everyone else that they mess with, hey, don't mess with this person. I had that happen to me, bro. I had that happen to me on a local level. Just very quick story. There was this group. I wasn't even like part of it or nothing, but someone I was working with, like, I said, a long story short, people don't mess with people, and I picked a side, and they don't mess with me.
Okay.
I'm fine with it as a human being because of who I am.
Sure.
But if they decide with their power or whatever to go and tell other people, hey, don't go on his song, don't have him on your song, don't book him for your show, I can't say a damn thing about it. I can be mad all I want, but I can't do anything about it because guess what? It's now their word. They're more established than I am.
Yeah.
So versus mine, and I'm not established in that arena. So I was saying that all to say, no hard feelings. Business is business, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And so back to the
D&D.
Yeah, the D&D, we were talking about how like you got to be careful what you do and stuff like that. So pretty much we're very selective with the people that we work with, but we work with, like, I'm going back to local talent. We work with local talent, just Georgie. You know Georgie, right?
Yeah.
He's the comedian, the TikToker, right?
Yeah, he was on our show.
Yeah, I actually saw the podcast, listened to his podcast before I got here. Him and DJ Steve.
You guys are working together on the Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I mean, by the time this comes out, it will have already happened.
Yeah. So DJ Steve is great. That dude's cool. So
he's on our show too.
He's one of those. Yeah, I saw his podcast as well. So I saw him and Georgie as well.
Nice.
And that guy is someone that I would want to work with long term because like he helps get the name out. He's dedicated to his craft. He's a good DJ. He's very well spoken about what he knows how to do.
Talking about DJ Steve, right?
Yeah, and he backs it up, and like he helps us promote the event and everything like that. So that's someone that we want to work with because he's working with us. So anytime we have like any event, like we're gonna consider him, because we're brand new and he's already working with us. So that's someone we don't work with it long term. And then Georgie, he's down to help us, promote on Instagram, TikTok, and all that. Obviously, we're gonna pay Georgie what his asking price.
First of all, DJ Steven La Casa. I had to say that shit. I told him that
Yeah.
it's so damn catchy. Every time I see it, it's so great. They're just very good people.
Uh-huh.
Like we
Yeah.
interviewed Georgie. It's funny 'cause we call him like just George Jorge. Um, we interviewed him, and when we spoke to him after the podcast, he's like, "Man, I'm just trying to put on for Tracy."
Yeah.
You know, sorry for putting that business out there, George, but I won't say any more. But
Okay.
like he said that we spoke with Steve. He's like, honestly, like the 209 has a lot of talent, and me and my business partner Zay, like we said the same thing. Like, dude, the 209 has a lot of like talent, and we could grow it.
Yeah,
But
sure.
unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there. It's not you, Steve,
Mhm.
or George. There's a lot of people out there who only focus on drama, unfortunately.
Sure, yeah.
And I
Exactly.
feel like it's hard to push through unless you surround yourself with good people. So
Mhm.
I have two questions for you.
Okay.
That's like essentially not necessarily business related.
Okay.
It's more
That's
so
fine.
feelings related.
Yeah.
Do you run into that like the drama issue at all?
I do not run into the drama issue at all because I don't really look for it. And if I already see it coming, I'm not even gonna try to engage with
Mm,
it. I also do personality checks before I try to work with the person or anything like
mm,
that. So I get a feel of how they are, how they move, how they talk, how they associate themselves, who they associate themselves with, and
right.
then I kind of dictate whether I want to work with that person, whether I want to work with them long term, short term, or whether I just want to do like a favor or two, or it's a money business or it's a partnership business. You kind of have to understand what's going to be beneficial to you and
Right.
your business. So the people that I associate with myself is the people that I trust and that I just see myself working with them for a very long time.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay. So then in your opinion, how do you feel like that mindset f- leads to the success of your business?
Yeah, so it leads to success because a lot of people who I've worked with have been very good choices, at least what I've seen. Like Carlos is a very good business partner. Celestial is a good business partner. His name's Ryan, by the way. I just call him by his vintage name because they all have like
Celestial?
their vintage names. Yeah,
That's
that's how he
sick.
goes by. And then
That's fire actually.
David is a good business partner. Claudia, they're all like excellent business partners.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry. I had to get that little
No,
stretch
you're good.
out.
Is it in?
Oh
Yes,
no! It wasn't
sir.
that. I had to get.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like going for a clap, and then I realized, damn, like in my old age, like my back kind of.
Yeah, it kind of like hurt.
Yeah, like you
You
realize,
gotta like
especially when you work out a bunch, you
do,
start feeling it
do
a
a little
lot more.
stretch
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. So I'm over there like trying to like do this. My wife, physical therapist, man, she helps a lot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So good business partners,
Yes.
like that you align. Essentially, you align yourself with people who are focused and they're locked in.
Yeah.
And I think at our age, that's crucial, man.
Yeah.
That's super crucial. Surrounding yourself with people who are like minded, who
Sure.
want what you
Mhm.
want. Maybe not the exact same things, but like they're down to work. They're
Mhm.
willing to work hard. They find a way.
Mhm.
That's the key. So I want to go back a little bit.
Okay.
You put $16,000 into an event
Mhm.
that, theoretically speaking, had you not got bailed out, and I'm
Put
paraphrasing it,
put me out there.
right? No, yeah,
I'm real about what
I know,
about my
I know.
stuff.
I don't think you got bailed out.
Yeah.
I just think that you invested, and like that's what business is, right?
Mhm.
But I'm just trying to paraphrase for the audience, right? You put $16,000 in, and you said that it wasn't going to be as successful as you thought,
Yeah.
right? What kept you going? Like why even continue?
Yeah.
Why not get discouraged?
Biden bailed me out by
Biden
Biden
bailed
bailed
me
me
out.
out when he closed down the country, just letting you guys know. So what helped me go is that I also had I had a friend, his name was Julio. You know Julio. He's the rapper. Juliano.
Oh yeah,
Juliano
okay.
Julian. Before he was also flipping cannabis, like he had his own cannabis brand,
Mm,
and he proposed me an idea of the cannabis event.
mm,
So what I did was I put a cannabis event with Julio. I had so many events that worked and didn't work, and that was one of them. The cannabis was one of them, and pretty much what I did was I would lease janky warehouses, and I would have an expo but cannabis related,
mm.
and every vendor there had their own product, their own line, and it was just how they grew their plant, how They have their own merchandise. They have their own accessories, their own products, dedicated to their own merch. And the thing about it is that it was a good idea because obviously cannabis brings in a lot of money. The execution was great. The liability and the safety was not. And
Okay.
it was sketch because those type of events, they're not they will never get approved by the I wouldn't say never, but the chances of getting approved by the city or by somebody is extremely low, like
In the recent future,
bottom low, like
right.
1%. Like
In the
so
near future, it's
mhm.
less likely.
Yeah,
Got it.
so we would always do it at like janky, sketchy warehouses, and
Mm.
they were always out like at the outskirts of Tracy. Like it was
Oh,
never like in Tracy. Like
yeah. So it's essentially that, yo, hey, come out to the outskirts of
mhm,
town to
yeah.
this empty warehouse. Come sell some
You know
weed.
how I had you know how I would tell people I had to send it through DMs or I had to email people like,
Yeah.
hey, the event's gonna be here. Send.
You couldn't send flyers,
No, I
essentially. You
couldn't
couldn't
send
post about it on
flyers.
the
I
timeline.
couldn't, and I had to make sure I put do not share. Like hit up Danny Aguayo, like if you're interested in coming to the event.
Yeah.
And I always lost money with that event, and I did it twice, thinking that I was gonna learn from my first mistakes. But even on the second event, I lost money, and then on the second event, that's when Carlos, my business partner now for the LinkUp, had a booth, and
Mm.
he sold clothes, right? And that's when he was like, Danny, you know what you should do? You should put this event, but make them separate, or like make vintage like clothing and put cannabis separate.
Mm.
And then I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know. I told him, I don't know any vintage or like streetwear vendors and stuff like that. Like, I'll lend you cannabis because of Julio, And then I met up with Carlos, and then we kind of like the next week I went to his house, and then we were just jotting down ideas. I was like, all right, let's like make this happen. And then he already knew like people who were in that business, like, and pretty much what we did, we just did like some cold outreach on Instagram, and we just told vendors, hey, like we get this event going on, are you interested in vending? We're doing this, we got this is the blueprint, like we got it locked in. So it's not just reaching out to people, but educating on what we're trying to do and giving them information and having them feel secure about sending money to an unknown event that's not established yet. But we had to provide proof. So I provided contracts, I provided agreements. I gave them like the layout, kind of like I said, and we did like just strong marketing. Like even at 0 followers, like the Instagram page that I had for the rave that was going on in the Sense, I just converted it to like the LinkUp. So
Okay.
I
You
did
just flipped it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
did a complete change of name. So I already had some followers. I think maybe I had like 100 followers, and
Mm.
even with those 100 followers, like I just threw them the flyer, So it was word of mouth, and everything, all the mistakes that we learned was from the first like 5 events, and then
Mm.
after that it was just kind of like we just got the ball rolling, and we just had to kind of had to apply what how we could make the event better and our mistakes in the past. But for the first event we were able to secure 60 vendors. um we did it at the mall. It was COVID peak. Like I think Biden just opened up the country, and like a month later, a month and a half later, we were already doing the event.
Mm.
So we did that, and then moving fast forward on our second event, we had 130 vendors, so we multiplied it by two,
Mm.
and we increased the price
Kept
a little
growing.
bit. Yeah, and then we just kind of like kept going, and yeah, that's how kind of how I started, from like the cannabis, from Carlos, and then connecting myself with Carlos, the network, the group, and then just everything. It just kind of like went from there, and then
Yeah.
mhm,
Well, so you want to know what I want to know? Want to know what I want to know?
yeah.
What I want to know the most right now in this moment, taking a not a break, but put all that aside for a second.
Mhm.
How do you feel in this moment right now? How do you feel?
I feel pretty good with the events and with the people that I'm working with. I'm very happy with the people that I work with, and they all work hard and they all take risks, and they're all very educated, and they just seem to like want more.
Mm.
And that's like the people that I want to work with, and that actually leads. that actually is gonna lead to the Vegas event, how I started the Vegas event,
Yeah.
because I was looking for a way to expand the LinkUp,
To a
but it
different city.
yes, and one of the destinations was Las Vegas.
Okay.
And it was really hard for me to expand to a different city without having the following from a different city, which
Mm.
was Las Vegas. And so I kind of scratched that idea with the Link Up Las Vegas, only because the Link Up was already doing events in LA, with a expo called Lace World,
Lace
called
World.
Lace World.
Okay.
hmm And it
Shout out
was
Lace World.
shout out Payne and Reese from Lace World. And uh so we were doing events every 2 weeks, and it was just a headache because it was so hard to market two events at once on the same page.
Mm.
So I was like, you know what, if we're doing two events, like it's gonna be really hectic to do three. And so I had that idea to kind of just not include the link up with the Las Vegas, and go to Las Vegas and partner with somebody that was already knowledgeable within the vintage and new people in Vegas.
Mm.
The cool thing about Ryan Celestial, the guy that I'm working with, is that he used to vend here in Northern
Yeah,
California, like
California.
yeah, like events like at the Link Up, World Tours, Pop Up. Like he used to do all those events, and he moved over there to Vegas. And I had told him, hey, like, why don't we do an event over here? Like, let's try to get something going. And long story short, we started the LV exchange, and we did it at a gym. And at the gym, we had about like 40 vendors for our first event, and we actually made profit, because we worked good as a team. Like he brought in the vendors, and I just brought in like the back end, like how to like market, do the contracts, the agreements, how to lock in like the emails, like the layouts and stuff like that. And we just applied it to the LB exchange. And then the second event that we had, we got approached by Area 15. Do you know
Mm.
Area 15 by any chance?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we got approached by Area 15.
Shout out Area 15. Yeah. We're
And
gonna do a lot of shout outs on this one.
yes, we are. Shout
Yeah.
out to Area 15. Shout out to Las Vegas, everybody.
Yep.
And the 209. So we had someone reached out um to us about possibly doing events at Area 15.
Mm.
And they liked the idea of bringing new events to Area 15, because apart from it being a family oriented expo and convention, they also host events,
Mm.
and they wanted to bring something new, and vintage to them was it. And so we had a taste of what it was like to have the LV exchange at a huge expo such as the Area 15, and it blew up. And after that event, they signed us a residency. So now we do events consistently at
Wow.
Area 15.
That's
Yeah.
fire, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Man. So wait, sorry, I cut you off. You were saying.
Yeah, so now we have the residency, and there we do it bi-monthly. Sometimes we do it monthly, sometimes we do it bi-monthly. It's just what kind of like date they give us. We're able to do them, and our next event's going to be on May 4th.
Okay.
So
You're a busy guy, man.
yeah.
How do you keep it all balanced?
It's the task delegation, kind of like how I was talking about at the beginning. Like um I could not do this by myself. I will not be able to do this by myself. That's why
Right.
I'm very careful with like the partners that I pick, and like Carlos, Ryan, and David. They're just like the right partners. Like they'll
Mm.
help me out with everything that I do, and they bring a lot of value. So it's just not me. Like I cannot do it. Like I can't
By
take
yourself.
credit by myself. Like it's just not possible. Um, so going back to the LV, we were able to just grow that event. And then after that came David, because David was getting into, now I'm getting into the King of Cards, by the way.
Yeah.
So David had reached out to me, and he's like, hey, like I want to get into
Trading cards.
trading cards. Like I'm into trading cards like Pokemon. Like I want to do my own trading card expo.
Mm.
And at first, like I wasn't very fond of working with David, because um I don't want to start an event all over again. Like
I see what
I
you're
wanted
saying.
someone to have some type of knowledge, and then I'll help them scale that event. I know it's
Mm.
just kind of like, oh yeah, but you didn't do anything. But it's just like, if I started from the beginning, I'm just gonna start a new event, and like I'm just gonna
Just gonna do it on your own.
yeah, pretty much. So David asked me for help, and I kind of drew up a blueprint of how he should go about doing the expo. And for the first event, I helped him, but just behind the scenes. I didn't put any money. I didn't like
You're
help.
mentoring him.
Yeah, I was just mentoring him. And I
Right.
told him, bro, if you could do this by yourself for like the first event, I'll help you out for every other event that you do, like after this. But the reason why I'm not helping you is because I want to see if you could actually do it by yourself. Because like a lot of people always tell me like, hey, can you help me out with this event and stuff like that? But they already want me to do the whole work.
Right.
And it's just like, bro, this just doesn't.
Well, David aside, I'm not talking about
Mhm.
David. A lot of people hate their jobs,
Mhm.
right? And or maybe not hate their jobs, but they don't see their job going anywhere. So they see you doing. You're an example of someone doing what they love,
Yeah.
and they just want in on that. They're like, dude,
Mhm.
how can I get in on that?
Yeah.
But because they don't know how to ask that question, it comes
Mhm.
across like almost like a handout. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. You're
Yeah,
saying
no, that's fine. I see what you mean. Yeah. So I've had a lot of people approach me with that. I'm not gonna say names,
right,
but I've had a lot of people approach me that, and Carlos as well, because they see that we work hard with our expo and that we do
right,
stuff, and we just keep it the events to ourselves. And then with David was already knowledgeable in the card industry. He knew vendors, so it was really easy for him to push that event.
mhm,
And then there was a point where he's like, hey, like it's really hard to do these by myself. Do you want to chime in and help out? And I was like, yeah, bro, like I'll help out. Like I'll just since um it's a little different from the previous events, like we're all doing 50-50 from each section. So we do 50-50 from marketing to agreements to locking in vendors to cash to credit, um, getting tables, chairs, COI, dumpsters, like all of that, like everything is 50-50.
right,
And I also taught him like a lot of other stuff on how to allocate the money. So before, um, he was just kind of like guessing on like who paid or not. And I taught him that I don't know if he was doing this before, but I taught him to like strongly go in on spreadsheets, because spreadsheets really save you, and
a
it'll help
lot.
you like where the
Yeah,
money is. So I have really helped him out with that. And then I also helped him with credit card
stacking, right,
stacking and credit card payments, because before he would just pay up front. So let's say that we booked a venue and the venue was 4K. Like, yeah, we have 4K to pay it, but it's kind of dumb to pay 4K because you could put the 4K into something else and flip it quick. With
right.
the 4K, you're just like, if you pay 4K in cash to the venue, like you just
You
lost
just lost
4K.
for it, but you can put it on your credit
And you
card,
have to wait for vendors to pay you in order for you to get your money back, right? But if you
right?
put it in the credit card, vendors are going to pay you anyway. So
Mm.
like
Pay off the credit card.
pay
Use
off the
that
credit
4K you
card.
were gonna do. Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then so invest that 4K into something else, and then you could get maybe like another 1,000. So now you have 5K instead of 4K. Just flip that 4K, and then you have your 4K in cash left over, and now you just need to worry about paying that 4K credit card. But with the vendors. And the cool thing about the credit card is it also taught them like, bro, you need to pay it because you could get 3% cash back, and you could get like points for flights. So there's like so much benefits with the events. Like you don't have to use your own money.
yeah,
As long as you know you're gonna get the money back, like you don't have to use your own money.
right. And then that's how you
Hmm.
build credit, so you can get a credit
Hmm.
line, and now you can throw bigger events
Hmm.
down the future.
And now he opened up a credit card. I think it's like if you spend like 8K or something like that, you get like $800 back. So
Yeah,
like he just needs to do 2 events and he saved himself $800. I don't want any of that $800.
yeah,
That's his, but it's just the fact that you're saving money, like, and that money that you already have in liquid, you could just reinvest into something that you could get money quicker.
right.
Hmm.
That's fire, man.
Yeah.
Do you learn all this from real estate? Because I know you do real estate too.
Yeah, so I did learn that from real estate, but also like the mistakes that I did with the link up and everything like that. I
Right.
pretty much did it. Yeah. So that's kind of like the king of cards, and then just buy, sell, trade, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh cards is
Man,
it's just
is
another
there
expo.
anything we haven't touched on? I feel like we spoke on it all.
Yeah.
Man,
So
Dude,
Just a little bit about.
I appreciate having you on, man. I really do. I hope everyone listening learned something. I feel like I learned a lot. To
Yeah.
tell the people where they can follow you at.
Yeah, so you can follow my personal at Aguayo Danny, Aguayo, and then Danny on Instagram. For the link up, it's TheLinkUp.expo. For the King of Cards, it's King of Cards Trade Show. And for the LV Exchange, it's just LV Exchange. And, we do events everywhere. So, if you're interested in fashion and stuff like that, just join us.
Yeah, join them, man.
Hmm.
Well, I appreciate you. The first businessman. I mean, everyone that we've interviewed is
Yeah.
a businessman in their own
Yeah.
right. But the first non-artist businessman, I
Hmm.
should say. Well, you're an artist in your own right, man. So
Hmm.
thank you for being on the show. Remember, when you think nobody's listening, somebody is.
Hmm.